Failure is easy. Success is hard. Hi, this is Jim Gibson with Business Sense Podcast. Thank you for listening today. And we're going to talk about being successful in business and what it takes. Someone once told me, they said, you're an overnight success. And of course I responded, yes, I am. 20 years in the making. They weren't aware of the years of preparation before I even started my business. In fact, I spent, I would say at least 4 months studying phone systems, understanding the good and the bad about every system that was made in America. There's a lot of them back then. Phone systems were a big deal 30 years ago. They were very profitable and not like today. And there wasn't a lot of data networks back then. So being in voice was the way to go, and that's why my business was called Nova Voice and Data Systems. It's because we sold a lot of phone systems, well over 6,000 phone systems. And I was a Toshiba dealer. And I became a Toshiba dealer because that's the company I picked. Because I spent 3 or 4 months, maybe more, I don't remember, researching every single phone system made in America. I looked at mean time before failure. I looked about parts. I looked at what it would take to be a salesman in that area, what it would take to be a technician in that area. What type of support does the manufacturers give their technicians and the salespeople and everything else? And I settled on Toshiba because it had the longest mean time before failure, and because the parts were plentiful, I could get them easily. It turned out to be a wise decision. I sold a lot of systems. But people look back on that and they think, I just happened to fall out of the sky and just happened to become a Toshiba partner and selling, their business systems. But they missed the times where I worked all night long on cabling, and they missed the times where I had to train employees only to have them leave. And they missed the financial decisions that were not wise. I lost money sometimes, and I didn't really make money for a couple years before I started making money. I remember a salesman, a disgruntled salesman. He probably wasn't that great of a salesman, but he said to me, he looked at me and he said, Jim, you make money while you sleep. And I thought, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I have maintenance agreements, and technicians go out at 2 a.m. to fix a phone system on a 24-hour operation, and I'm sleeping and I'm making money. But that's not the way it's always been. There was times I had to go out because I didn't have technicians, or I had technicians on vacation, or I had technicians up and quit on me without notice, and I would have to take their place years ago. I think that salesperson was a disgruntled employee, that he didn't think it was fair, that he didn't make the big bucks, as he would put it. That, here I just came along and I was lucky and it really took no effort and everything else. And here I am making all this money and he's just barely making commissions, and I'm sort of a stingy person, only paying him commissions when I'm getting all this money and he's not. And he kind of implied that it was luck. Boy, I was just a lucky person. I really didn't work hard for it. I was just a lucky person. And I always remember my friend's office. I would go into it and I'd sit there and talking to him, and behind his desk he had this big sign, and the sign would say, "The harder I work, the luckier I get." And that's true. If you want to be in business, you're going to have to work hard. So there was hard work involved in starting a business. But it was fun work too. I enjoyed starting a business. I enjoyed running a business. I enjoyed the customers and I enjoyed the vendors. I had a great time. But I think that salesman was kind of like, he wanted the money. He wanted that 9-to-5 job. And a lot of people want that 9-to-5 job. And there's nothing wrong with that, or getting up early in the morning and going to work and everything else, and you're not sitting there 8 o'clock at night wondering how you're going to make payroll in 2 days, and you don't have all that fear, and or is that customer really going to pay you, or are you able to purchase more product that you're going to need 2 weeks from now? They don't hear that, they don't see that, and they're content. Some people are content. They don't want that pressure on them, so they're content to show up at 9 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning, and then just to punch out at 5 and forget about work. And there is a difference between someone who is a business owner, because to me, being a business owner means that if I work harder and I work smarter, I should be able to make more money. That would only seem reasonable. I'm the one taking the risks. I'm the one that I could have put all this time and money into it, and it could have been a big failure, and it wasn't. But people don't see that. They don't see the 15 years in the making. All they see is the success, and they think it was easy. You know, there's a verse in the Bible, and you know something? The Bible has a lot of good business ideas and a lot of good wisdom there. But you go to Proverbs 24:33, and it says, a little bit of sleep and a little bit of slumber and a little bit of folding of hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a thief, and scarcity like an armed man. And I always thought about that while I was building Nova Voice and Data Systems, long before cable supply, by the way. But I always thought about that, and I said, you know, I better make sure I'm in gear. You know, I get up early in the morning, and I got to make sure I put out the effort, and I got to make sure I do my research, because I could go out of business easily. It's easy to go out of business. It's easy to fail, and it takes work to be a success. This is Jim Gibson with Business Sense Podcasts. Please, if you like these podcasts, it's a short one today, but if you like the podcast, please give me a thumbs up. Please make comments. Tell me the subjects that you would like me to cover in the future, and I'd be happy to consider them. Also, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. So if you don't mind and you like what you hear, please subscribe. And again, I hope you have a wonderful day. And just remember, it's easy to fail, man. And it takes work to be successful. Thank you for listening.